Announcing the new standard by which all ammunition will be judged, Superformance ammunition from Hornady. Velocity increases of 100 to 200 feet per second from every hunting cartridge in every gun. Industry-leading accuracy and no increases in felt recoil are all realized with Superformance ammunition.
It's across the board, not just test barrel catalog ballistics, but in any rifle you want to put it in, you're going to get 100 to 200 foot per second higher velocities than any other standard ammunition currently available.
Convention and established norms are now challenged. The bar has been raised.
We're here at the range at Paza Park with Steve Hornady. Now, Steve, your company has done some magnificent things with bullets and ammunition over the last, I don't know, quite a few years, but now this may be your most significant development.
Craig, it very well may be. What we have here is a whole new standard in ammunition performance. We have been able to create essentially an entire new category of propellants for small arms and are able to incorporate this virtually across the entire line of our hunting ammunition. We're going to be able to raise the velocity of almost every load you can think of or that you have ever used by somewhere between 100 and 200 feet per second. And I don't care whether you're talking about a 300 mag or a 243 or anything in between.
This is 165 grain 30-06, 5-shot string. The low was 3,009 feet per second. The high was 3,016 feet per second. And of course, for my whole life, the standard spec for 165 grain 30-06 has been 2,800 feet per second. So that's 200 feet per second plus over what we've been used to getting. Now that is super performance.
Current expectations for ammunition performance have been stagnant for quite some time. They were primarily derived back in the 1930s and 1940s based around the IMR line of propellants. Performance improvements pretty much came as a brute force approach. Let's take a real big cartridge case, put a whole lot of slow powder in it to try and drive a bullet faster. The drawbacks there were very heavy recoil, a lot of times very unacceptable accuracy. We've now solved that problem with Superformance. This is now a very, very elegant and very scientifically derived propellant that is extremely efficient and now will give you high performance in any existing cartridge without excessive recoil and without compromises in accuracy or reliability.
Even in short-barreled rifles, Superformance is able to maintain increased velocity.
Superformance ammunition, even in short-barreled rifles, will provide much higher levels of performance than standard ammunition. We took a 300 Win Mag test barrel and progressively cut an inch off of this 24-inch barrel until we got down to a 20-inch barrel. We found that with each inch of barrel we cut off, we only lost 18 feet per second per inch. Typically, a 300 Win Mag type cartridge would be giving up anywhere from 40 to 50 foot per second per inch. We found in other calibers, such as 308s, 30-06s, we were only giving up on the order of 13 to 15 foot per second per inch. Superformance will maintain a very high level of performance, even in shorter barreled rifles.
In the past, achieving SAAMI specification velocity levels with solid monometal bullets has been difficult.
During the course of our testing, we found that other commercial ammunition in monometal bullets was either having problems achieving SAAMI velocities or was achieving SAAMI velocities with rather high pressures. Superformance ammunition loaded with our monometal GMX bullets is achieving substantially higher velocities than any other monometal bullet on the market today, and it is doing it at normal pressures.
Superformance ammunition is tested across a wide range of temperatures in the Hornady Ballistics Lab.
These propellants produce extremely stable temperature performance. We have tested these propellants at -20 degrees and up to 140 degrees, and we get virtually the same performance no matter what the temperature is.
Hunters worldwide will benefit from the extended range and flatter trajectory provided by Superformance. Frank Miniter used Superformance on a mule deer antelope combo hunt in Wyoming with Cold Creek Outfitters. Superformance ammunition is loaded in most traditional hunting cartridge offerings, topped with either an SST or the new GMX bullet. More information about specific loads and bullet weights can be obtained by visiting the Hornady website. Increased speed, accuracy, and lethality. Superformance ammunition, the new standard by which all ammunition will be judged. Sacrifice nothing, gain everything. It really is rocket science. Hornady is proud to unveil the latest addition to the AR legacy, the 6.5 Grendel. Originally developed by Bill Alexander of Alexander Arms, the 6.5 Grendel is an extremely well-designed, efficient cartridge that takes full advantage of the AR chassis to provide supreme long-range performance.
Bill Alexander's been a good friend of mine for a number of years. One of Bill's greatest creations is the 6.5 Grendel, and we're really excited to be offering that cartridge in our lineup for 2010. The 6.5 Grendel, as the name implies, fires a 6.5 diameter bullet, but it fits in the AR-15 envelope, so it's got a cartridge overall length of 2.250. Performance is exceptional. The cartridge is capable of keeping bullets supersonic to 1,000 yards, which is no slouch. You know, generally accepted maximum range for a .223 is around 600. So in the same platform, it adds a lot of distance and a lot of versatility to the AR-15.
The 6.5 Grendel will be loaded with the new 123 grain AMAX bullet, a recent introduction to the Hornady match bullet line.
The 6.5 Grendel required us to add a new bullet to the AMAX line. The chamber's a little bit differently, and we adapted our 120 grain AMAX specifically to the 6.5 Grendel. We went ahead and upped the grain weight a little bit, 123 grain AMAX bullet to fit in the 6.5 Grendel cartridge.
The 6.5 Grendel is a long-range hunting cartridge for thin-skinned game such as deer, coyotes, and other varmints, and it's equally at home on the range for long-range competition.
We'll be selling 6.5 Grendel brass and reloading dies so that the hand loader can load all the way from our 95 grain VMAX all the way up to the 140 grain SST and AMAX bullets.
The 6.5 Grendel is a well-executed union of firearm mechanics and internal, external, and terminal ballistics that delivers performance, assuring its place in the legacy of the modern sporting rifle, the AR, and the continuing adaptation of Eugene Stoner's design. Hornady is pleased to announce the addition of the 40 Smith & Wesson, 45 Auto, 357 Magnum, and 12-gauge double-aught buckshot to the Critical Defense product line. Hornady Critical Defense ammunition is impervious to thick and heavy clothing, providing 100% reliable expansion you can count on every single time. This breakthrough in personal defense bullet design is attributed to the patented flex tip material utilized in the nose of the flex tip expanding, or FTX bullet.
And Dave, the first time we were looking at this was when you introduced Critical Defense, and we were playing with the 380 and looking at how you'd turn that little load into a muscle cartridge, but now you've got the second series in the line.
That's right, Dick. We've rounded out the line pretty nicely this year. We brought a 357 125 grain Critical Defense load, a 40 165, and a 45 185. These all pretty much follow the same vein before, as they're designed and optimized for compact, short-barreled guns.
Well, I think the 45 is probably the one that also really serves to illustrate the benefits of the Critical Defense concept. It's a slow bullet, and as we all know, that low velocity has been the bête noire of expansion in bullets since the whole concept was invented. How do you get a low-velocity handgun bullet to reliably expand. And you basically just pre-filled it with a hydraulic medium.
That's correct. That's pretty much what the FTX feature in this does. It pre-fills that cavity and makes a much more efficient transfer of the energy that you do have to work with.
Yeah, because the problem really is that a hollow point that's big so it'll open is also prone to plugging when it goes through a barrier. So you have prevented the plugging by putting the medium in there already.
And you've got it exactly right, Dick.
Well, I want to see how this compares to that little cartridge we tried before. Let's try that big 45. Oh, I like that. What do you got on distance?
12.5 to 13. That's
right,
just about ideal.
13. Dig that sucker out of there.
Okay.
I want to see how that performs. Look at that spiral.
Yep. It's a pretty big wound cavity.
I don't think there's any problem with low velocity expansion with this design.
And there's the tip right there with it.
Man, look at that. Polymer right with it. You can actually see how the polymer plug
deformed
and compressed. Yep. You know, acting as if like a little piston mechanism.
Out of that short of barrel gun, it's very difficult to get any kind of hollow point to perform to that kind of target.
3-inch gun, that kind of expansion, critical for defense.
Along with the latest pistol offerings in critical defense, Hornady also offers a 12-gauge 2 3/4-inch double-aught buckshot load. All Hornady buckshot utilizes the versatile wad that produces ultra-tight patterns from production shotguns without the use of special choke tubes or aftermarket barrel work. The Critical Defense 12-gauge buckshot offering is a great choice for those who prefer the payload of a 12-gauge round for their personal defense.
When your life or the life of your family's on the line, there is a serious sense of reassurance in knowing that there's 8 .33 caliber fight stoppers on their way to end the threat.
Count on Hornady to design the most effective, consistently reliable, and dependable self-defense ammunition available today. When lives are on the line, only the best will do. Critical defense ammunition from Hornady. To meet the demand from varmint hunters and shooters living in areas with restrictions on the use of lead, Hornady has developed a new bullet that provides an alternative choice to suit their needs, the NTX.
We're here at the range at Paza Park in Barry, Illinois with Steve Hornady. And Steve, you're giving us the very first look at a brand new varmint bullet.
Craig, that is absolutely correct. This is what we're calling the NTX. Non-toxic expanding bullet. And as you're well aware, there is a growing demand, particularly in certain parts of the country, where they're not allowed to shoot ammunition that contains lead. So this is one of those things that we have to try to provide our customer with a product that he can take to the field, and we're doing it across the board. The one that you're looking at here is a 204. This is a 30-grain bullet, and it's essentially equivalent volumetrically to our 40-grain bullet,
okay,
but the mass is only 30 grains.
Okay.
So we're able to get 4,200 out of this, which is a screamer.
Fantastic, yeah.
And with the VMAX type of tip, and this is a copper-colored tip to differentiate it from our other VMAX, you're going to get the expansion that you expect from any of our varmint loads.
The NTX bullet features a core that is formed through a compression process on site in the Hornady Bullet Factory.
Each core is designated by its weight for each particular caliber, and what we do is we have proprietary metals that we use. They're not all the same for each particular caliber. It's all based really upon how the performance is once we test those in our lab.
The NTX is a highly frangible bullet designed to give up energy and come apart rapidly upon contact with almost anything offering more resistance than air. And as with all Hornady bullets, the NTX delivers phenomenal accuracy. Hornady is offering the NTX as a component bullet and in factory-loaded Varmint Express ammunition. Initial offerings will include a 17 HMR 15.5 grain NTX, a 22 WMR, a 204 Ruger, and a 223 NTX. Accurate, deadly, dependable. The NTX from Hornady, a new varmint hunting bullet, is born. the first commercial match cartridge to be developed from the ground up. The 6.5 Creedmoor is peerless. Now, Hornady unveils the latest in the evolution of the 6.5 Creedmoor, the 129-grain SST and 120-grain GMX 6.5 Creedmoor Superformance.
The new 6.5 Creedmoor hunting loads, featuring a wind-defying, high ballistic coefficient, high sectional density bullet, surpass even the performance of a .270 Winchester, but it does it in a short-action rifle with negligible recoil. In my opinion, the new 6.5 Creedmoor Superformance hunting ammunition is the new modern rifleman's cartridge.
Let's join Guy Eastman on a free-range aoudad hunt in West Texas.
I think he's done. That big old ram is done. One shot, one kill. It's 129 grains of sheep heart attack right here. 6.5 Creedmoor right here with the Hornady bullet, boom, 150 yards, 200 yards, bang, right through the lungs, one shot, one kill. And let me tell you, these things can be tough, folks. But to hammer one with one shot, that's pretty cool experience. Come here to West Texas and hunt free run in aoudad. Got a good ram.
The 6.5 Creedmoor Superformance hunting loads are in a league of their own, suitable for taking virtually any game animal on the North American continent. Both the 129-grain SST and the 120-grain GMX offer upwards of 2,100 foot-pounds of energy at 100 yards. Revolutionizing the world of shooting and pushing the limits of accepted ballistic performance, long-range hunters have a new tool, 6.5 Creedmoor Superformance ammunition from Hornady. Introducing the 9.3x62 Mauser from Hornady. Originally developed in 1905 to provide German settlers in Africa with a cartridge capable of putting game on the table, the 9.3x62 soon found a following in its homeland of Germany and throughout the rest of the world.
This is a popular caliber in Europe, and for our European hunters, this gives them the option of a pretty good thumper fitting into a standard Mauser type action in standard length. Uses a 30-06 head, so it's a very common head size, feeds reliably through all of those guns. For our European customers and anybody else who wants a good cartridge for medium to big game, the 9.3x62 will do the job.
Timeless design, the 9.3x62 Mauser is a perfect new addition to the Hornady line. One of the most ubiquitous rifles on the face of the planet. Throughout its lifetime, it has been loved and hated, cherished by some, feared by many, but one thing has remained constant. Its simple yet highly effective design has stood the test of time. Mikhail Kalashnikov's rifle, the AK. As time has progressed, several American gun companies have adopted the original and subsequent cartridges originally designed for AK rifles. Hornady is proud to offer the 7.62x39 and 5.45x39 cartridges.
Okay, now we've got something really exciting here. The 7.62x39 cartridge has always been extremely popular, but one of the major problems has been the lack of good quality loads with expanding projectiles. Now, for years, the 123 grain Hornady VMAX has been one that I've hand loaded. I don't have to do that anymore. Steve, you've really come up with something exciting. You want to tell us a little bit about this?
Well, as you noted, Dave, we've had the bullet for quite some time. We didn't make the ammo, and this has been one of those what has taken you people so long questions. But we've got a partner in Russia who is providing us with cases. These are a steel case, Berdan Prime. And working with them, putting the VMAX bullet in, as you noted, we're able to duplicate the performance of basically a mil-spec cartridge, but we have a superior bullet. And there are more guns coming on the market, and there is better quality coming on the market, and we started to see an opportunity maybe to do something with this.
Now, he said that this is a mil-spec load. You guys have actually stepped this up a little bit. Instead of running at the standard 2330 feet per second, this is running at 2375. Steel case, 123 grain Hornady VMAX for excellent performance in 7.62x39, but wait, there is more. You are actually coming out with a 545 by 39 load.
That's correct, we are. And that was the other part of this equation that started it, because there were a couple of American companies that brought out rifles in that. Smith & Wesson was one of them. And they have the ability to produce a rifle that will really shoot. And when we looked at that, we said, okay, now there's an opportunity to get into this. And if we're going to do the 545, well, we might as well do the 7.62 at the same time. So that's what started that. But it was easier to get the 7.62 on the market than it was to get the 545 done.
Okay, so now for all you people that love these two cartridges, you now have an opportunity to have Hornady 545 and 7.62 by 39 cartridges in top-notch loads. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
Collectors and practical rifle enthusiasts will appreciate these new, high-quality, affordably priced offerings from Hornady. Two fantastic additions that will complement new and traditional rifles chambered for these two storied cartridges. Hornady has been supplying varmint hunters with premium bullets since 1949. But as good as Hornady bullets are, there are situations that require something else. Announcing the 12-gauge No. 4 Buck Varmint Express from Hornady. Although coyote and varmint calling has been practiced for decades, it has now progressed to a true art form. Varmint callers have become so effective that at times they not only mimic the prey, they become the prey. It's for moments like this that a fast-handling shotgun is the ideal weapon to bring to bear. Loaded with 1 1/4 ounces of highly effective No. 4 Buck, the Hornady 12-gauge 2 3/4-inch Varmint Express sends its 24 pellets downrange with authority. All Hornady buckshot is made in-house to exacting standards through a swaging process that eliminates any air pockets or voids that would cause the shot to fly erratically. Utilizing ultra-hard, high-antimony buckshot, Hornady No. 4 Buck Varmint Express loads are designed to punch right through a coyote or varmint with little pelt damage. Ultra-tight patterns are achieved through the use of the specialized Hornady Versatite wad, designed to separate from the shot string, leaving a compact shot column for maximum effect on target. This season, when hunting varmints and the action gets up close and personal, send a 24 count of Hornady No. 4 Buck and keep the top of the food chain intact. Hornady 12-gauge Varmint Express, accurate, deadly, dependable. Hand loaders will be pleased with the latest reloading tool introductions from Hornady. Introducing the Lock and Load Auto Charge and the Lock and Load Sonic Cleaner. The Lock and Load Auto Charge is an extremely accurate powder measuring system that is quick to set up, precise to within 0.1 grains, and has a scale capacity of 1,000 grains. Featuring a keypad coupled with a large, easy-to-read backlit display, automatic and manual dispense options, trickle function, 3 speed settings, overcharge protection, and easy clean all combine to make this the single most effective powder measure on the market. The Lock and Load Auto Charge. Nothing else measures up. The Lock and Load Sonic Cleaner combines an intense ultrasonic cleaning action and a unique cleaning solution that removes carbon residue from cartridge cases. Unlike tumblers, the Lock and Load Sonic Cleaner quickly cleans the interior of the case as well as the exterior. The ultrasonic action creates microjets that blast carbon buildup off cases, small gun parts, and equipment. Capable of cleaning up to 200 223 cases or 100 308 cases, the Lock and Load Sonic Cleaner makes easy work of brass preparation. Hornady continues to push the limits of commonly held ballistic beliefs and achieves unprecedented performance that delivers industry-leading results. At the hands of Hornady engineers, standard ballistic technology is redefined.